welcome to Lydden Hill here in Kent, not far from Canterbury as it happens, where we're here for round 5 of the Old Spice Legends Championship. Tick Stewart it is who sits atop of the point standings, but he's being chased very hard by 21 other drivers who have their own ideas about winning this championship. The track has been damp and it's been a bit dreary, starting to clear up now, but certainly the weather will be a factor.
I've looked up at the weather and if it stays like this I think we should be alright. I like it a little bit wet, but Tick's a master in the wet, isn't he?
The wet is my favourite, as you know. The wet is awesome.
If this weather clears up a bit, which I don't think it's going to, we could be up there again, but I'm not a very good wet weather driver.
It's a very tight track and they're not very generous with the run-off areas, and of course it's soaking wet.
I like the wet as well, so I think we should have a good day, although it's looking like it's drying out, so that's a bit disappointing for me.
I had a good walk around it this morning. It looks enormous fun. It's a shame there are going to be 22 of us trying to share the fun at the same time. That's when the problems start, but it'll be good fun. It'll be good to watch. It'll be good to watch.
You actually come up to a corner, it's a lot different on the track than it is from the spectator's view, and it changes your whole perspective, so it's well worth it.
The sharp left-hander. You might see quite a few moves up the inside there, so we're going to have to keep an eye on our mirrors and make sure we don't hit each other.
I've really got to get used to the track, well, seeing I haven't ever raced on it before, so I'll try and follow some of the top boys and see if I can stay on the black stuff.
And in terms of overtaking places, are there opportunities here?
Thousands. I mean, it's like Knockhill, to be honest. Outbreak them, up the hill. The only trouble is I'm a bit disadvantaged going up the hill because I'm a big old lad, but boy, coming down the hill, we've got some weight behind us.
And believe you me, he has used that weight to good effect in this championship so far. Tick Stewart is the championship leader, an advantage over Ian Sturt, the highest placed of the newcomers. John Mickle in 3rd, Darren Hill's 4th, and Gary Thomas with Steve Thompson 5th and 6th. So here we are then, 3 races, and the first of those 3 coming up. The driver's already out in their cars behind the pace car, and the pace car pulls off down into the pit road. So Tick Stewart there in the number 2 car, the blue machine, alongside him Andy Craig, and we've got onboard cameras on board many of these cars for you, and there is one of the cars that carries an onboard. Steve Thompson, that's the view we get from his legend. And also out there with a rear-facing camera, Tick Stewart, the championship leader. We'll look at the others as they come up, and the green lights are on for the rolling start, and Steve Thompson and Tick Stewart both get a cracking start. Andy Craig there back in 3rd place. That's the view from John Mickle's car. He's way back in the traffic, facing a wall of metal. One of the race tech cars ahead of him, that'll be one of the Thomases, because almost every car with a race tech is driven by a Thomas at the moment, although Ben Collins is driving their number 58 car. Well, to the inside there, a big dive up the inside, has gone. In fact, number 57, that is Ben Collins, so Collins in the 57 car, Ian Sturt there, tucked in behind, lurking up the inside. In 55 is Gary Thomas, but look at the lead already established by Steve Thompson there in the red car, and Tick Stewart already pulling out an advantage. Down Hairy Hill they call it. Hairy because it is very scary. And down into paddock. Sweeping through. There's John Mickle in the number 4 car. Back in something like 6th place. Oh, and Steve Pearce has gone off at paddock. Just back at the end of the first lap, Steve Pearce has gone off, and that car is going no further. He's launched it into the tyre walls. Well, hopefully it'll keep out of mischief there. Oh, Pete Amos spins around in 33. Pete, one of the newcomers this year, and a very welcome addition to the championship he is too. Must be the certainly one of the most enthusiastic legends newcomers we've had, and there are many of those. Up Hairy Hill they go then. On board with John Mickle, Andy Craig, the winner from Brands Hatch, sweeps across in what I like to refer to as the Ant Hill mob car, if you remember them. And talking of hills, they'll drop down into paddock. I'll just catch a glimpse of Steve Pearce's car there, wedged into the tyre wall. There it is, you'll just see it in the background, and here's a challenge for the lead, is it? Thompson and Stewart complete the second lap side by side, but Stewart will go through. By a manoeuvre there by Tick Stewart. Steve Thompson then demoted down to second. Look how hard he's working though. That steering wheel is twirling away in his hands. And back towards as they come. Oh, and Pete Amos has contacted into Steve Pearce's car. Oh, that is a disaster for Steve Pearce. We'll try and get a little look at that in a moment, but up the hill, meanwhile, 1st and 2nd place men, Stewart and Thompson, respectively, fighting it out up Hairy Hill. And I'll tell you what, Ian Sturt is catching them all of the time. Just have a look how close Ian Sturt is. In fact, let's just have a look at that replay of Pete Amos collecting Steve Pearce's car and launching himself into the tyre wall. Well, that is desperate misfortune for both those drivers, Steve Pearce and Pete Amos, both newcomers to Legends in 1999. Further back through the field, they're fighting it out for positions as well, but this is a memorable battle up front here. Stuart Thompson and Ian Sturt, and we're on board further back with Rob Fountain. Pete Morton slots through on the inside. Oh, the spinner there is going to be Chris Thomas. Well, this is his local circuit. They only live down the road in Tunbridge Wells, does Chris Thomas and his team. There's a whole heap of drivers for who this is very much their local circuit, including that man, Ian Sturt, who won a championship here last year and is using his local knowledge to good effect. All of the other drivers have said they expect him to go extremely well. He's done a brilliant job so far. Lies second in the championship at the moment, two's Tick Stewart. But at the moment, oh, it's a disaster for Ian Sturt. Look at the metalwork bouncing down the track. He's had a big bang there, has Ian Sturt. Well, that looks like the end of his race. It could even be the end of his afternoon. It looked like a huge explosion there. The gearbox or something around that order detonating, and also in there Mike Ives pulling off just a little bit further round from Ian Sturt. Well, it's all happening, isn't it? Pilgrim's Drop at the moment is where they are all pulling off to one side. Meantime, the new third place man is there, Gary Thomas in 55. But we look back to see that there is Thomas in fact going through, and look back to fourth place. John Mickle holds that at the moment. Fifth place man there is Peter Morton. Well, his engine seems to be holding up. He told us earlier on that he was worried about that. But back on board with Steve Thompson. And again, drifting it. They drive these cars sideways, you know. Absolutely mad they are. Crazy as mashed bananas. Well, here they come. I'll tell you what, Stuart Miller's got a puncture there. I'm not sure if he realises. In fact, the board is out of race control. The orange disc on the flat background flag there says, number 57, come in, your time is up, your car's falling apart, we know it, you don't. So they'll want him to call in and have that inspected as Steve Thompson urging Tick Stewart round. And has Thompson gone to the inside? You'd think so from that angle, but in fact he's tucked back in now. Well, brilliant stuff from these two up front. Steve Thompson's not had a great start to the season. He's had all manner of problems, dramas. First race of the year, he put his foot flat on the accelerator and snapped the cable. So it was the most inauspicious of starts for him, but at the moment he really is clawing away at the rear end of Tick Stewart's car. Great action here as they come. Gary Thomas is getting closer as well, the third place man. Now, can Tomo get up the inside? I don't think he's quite close enough there. Perhaps a launch around the outside as they come through. On a change further back, John Mickle is past, but Mickle will retaliate. This is the battle here for fourth place. The top three already going around the corner, and there is Peter Morton on the inside. So Morton will get through. He'll go fourth. Hang on a minute. Don't turn away. Mickle might just fight back here as they come down Hairy Hill and into paddock where the leaders are now. Thompson's well poised there, isn't he? Look how close he is. I'll tell you. Smile, Steve. We can see you. Taking a wide line. That will give him a tighter line to the apex and mean he can get more speed coming out of the corner. That's the idea anyway. Final lap they're on. He's got 3 or 4 corners to do it, has Steve Thompson. Oh, he's going to go down the inside this time. No, he backs off. Don't rule out Gary Thomas. I've seen it before where these two could take each other off and Gary Thomas would be first to the checkered flag. Don't rule that out by any stretch of the imagination. Pete Morton and John Mickle look to have sorted their battle out. In fact, Mickle might have lost another place, and here comes Thompson this time. He's going to be tighter coming off the corner. Oh, and the back end steps out. He gets a little bit of oversteer coming around the hairpin at the top of the hill. Looks like another victory, is it, for Tick Stewart to add to his many already? The checkered flag in hand, and it is a fine performance from Tick Stewart. He will take the win from a battling Steve Thompson. Further back, John Mickle comes through. Well, Mickle classified back in 6th place, and Rob Fountain, in fact, it was who snuck on through to get that 5th position. But we're riding now with the leader and the winner, and there is Steve Thompson acknowledging that fine victory from Tick Stewart. The crowd here are going absolutely balmy, waving and shouting and screaming and all sorts of things. Royally entertained there by Tick Stewart, confirmed with that victory in race 1. Steve Thompson second, just 0.13 of a second behind him. Gary Thomas takes third, with in 4th place Peter Morton. Rob Fountain there 5th. John Mickle picks up a 6th place. And there are the top three on the back of the celebration vehicle. Meantime, let's go and hear what happened to Steve Pearce. Steve, what happened?
I don't know really, the car felt really good for the first time this season. And I come down the hill and it stayed with everyone. And I've brake changed down, as I've turned, it's just pushed on straight into the tyres and that was it. Then as I got out I thought, oh, they might bring the yellows out. And little Pete come down and wrecked straight into the back of it. So it's a bit broke now.
Basically I got spun out down the top bend there and a little bit of red mist and come round here a little bit too quick and couldn't make the bend, I'm afraid. But I thought I got away with it, but Steve's car was buried in the tyres and I just clipped it. It's torn the strut and everything right out the axle, so I don't think we'd be going anywhere today. But
we started 16th on grid and got up to 7th on about lap 7. Then the axle bracket underneath the torsion, but the link bar snapped, so we retired gracefully. But we'll be back out again. Race 2, here we come.
Now, what about the engine? Did it work? Because you had some concerns before race 1.
Up to press, it's holding off. You know, everything seems to be all right. The power's there coming out the bends. It was a very hard race, that one, really, on the quiet, because there were two different lines. There was a wet line and a dry line. With drawing number 17 on the grid, I ended up in the wet for the start, so I just held back just a couple of seconds so I can get onto the dry line, and away we went. I think I was lucky more than anything. Every manoeuvre came off in my favour for a change. And after speaking to you, that's a change.
We had a little bit of a problem. The prop shaft fell off and ripped the whole of the engine out. So, not a good day, but that's what happens when you do your home meeting and everybody expects you to go well. But we'll live to fight another day.
Will you get the car repaired for the second and third races?
I don't think so. I think there's too much damage to it underneath. But we'll try.
It was a blinding old race, to be honest, weren't they? They were going everywhere, weren't they? It was quite amazing, really. I see the second guy in the championship had a bit of bad luck on the bottom bend, and I see Steve a couple of dives, and I thought, well, I'll let you go if you're going to get. I didn't want to come off. I just want to finish, mate. That's all I want to do is finish. I'm here to finish, and that's all to do. The winning's a bonus, isn't it? It was good to the last lap, wasn't it? I mean, we were there. It was a bit defensive on the last lap. I went up the hill and I slowed, and I thought, you ain't coming up the inside. You want to be a big boy, go around the outside. And I see Gary gaining as well, but no, it was good, really good.
That's probably one of my best this year so far. At least I finished, but no, it was very good. Tick got a jump on the inside of me. Down the bottom there, it is just a little bit wet still. So I was trying to keep to a driving line. Tick went up the inside, so I thought, it's up the inside of me, give him the benefit of that. No point taking us both out. But the Old Spice cars were going, well, brilliantly. Off the front, so 1, 2, couldn't ask no better. Next race we're off the back, so it's all out.
I was hoping to win a bit more than that, actually. They normally, Tick's always the one to slow the pace down, but he didn't. I don't know whether those racing a bit of team tactics today, but they both get a speed up. The last lap I just managed to dive up on them, but wanted another lap really, and just made it more exciting for the crowd.
So Tick Stewart took the victory in race 1. Can he repeat that performance in race 2? Well, there are 21 others out there who think differently. To find out the answer, join us right after this break. Welcome back to Lydden Hill, just south of Canterbury in Kent, where we are poised for the second of 3 races here. We'll have the third race for you next week, but we ride on board with John Mickle. Nigel Kelsey is the man up front at the moment. There we're looking at the 21 car of Darren Hills, alongside him Peter Morton, and on the outside of the front row, the white car there is Simon Durrell. Third row, we've got Mike Ives there and the missing car, Ian Sturt. So we're ready to rock and roll, I think. Yes, green lights are on. Oh, a perfect start by John Mickle. Launched himself round the outside there. It's a bit of a cavalry charge into Pilgrim's Drop, though. Nigel Kelsey's going to get swallowed up here. And Simon Durrell goes round the outside. Peter Morton trying to follow him. I'll tell you, there's 2 lines here at Lydden, a legend. Make it 3 if you like. Steve Thompson faces that wall of metal. Mark Hobbs in front of him. Goes down the inside. His teammate, Tick Stewart. Oh, there's contact back in the pack. Andy Craig is launched. Ben Collins is in the gravel. Keep the power on, Ben. Keep the power on. Keep the power on. Well done, son. Out he comes back up the hill. He'll rejoin at the back of the field. Meantime, Peter Morton has done a superb move up the inside of Simon Durrell. Durrell seemed to break just that little bit earlier than Peter Morton. To be fair, he might have braked later and run round the outside, and there's contact and paddock again. Oh, and Darren Hill spins off. Oh, we need to have a look at that again, I think. Darren Hill's there. Well, did he jump or was he pushed? We'll make our minds up when we have a look at that again, but through they all come. Steve Thompson running out very wide there. Oh, and he's sideways, is Tomo. Tick Stewart goes through, so does Mark Hobbs. Well, he's got to do all that work again. These are the leaders. Peter Morton in the purple machine. In the white car, it's Simon Durrell. And back in the pack, they are squabbling over positions. Neil Thomas in 56. This was the incident where Andy Craig ran up over the top of one of the team twin cars. Ben Collins found himself in the gravel, kept the power on. And there is the incident with Darren Hills and John Mickle. I don't know, you sort it out amongst yourselves. They'll argue about it later, that's for sure. Anyway, let's recap where we are. Gary Thomas is on a charge. He's right behind Nigel Kelsey. The leaders are at Pilgrim's Drop. They'll come up the rise. It really flattens it out there. It's quite a steep hill, that. Walked up there this morning, and it climbs all the way up. You crest it, then drops down, turning right-handed all the way you go. And if you can carry that speed down the straight here and get late on the brakes into the left-hander, it can do your lap time a huge amount of good. Through they'll come. Mike Ives has re-welded his car, by the way. We heard him say earlier that had a problem with that, and they welded it all back together to get him out for the second race. He said, second race, here we come, and he was a man of his word. Great sight they make down the hill. There's a brilliant scrap going on there between Tick Stewart and Rob Fountain. Chris Fountain, his brother, has retired, incidentally. There's a car parked there in the centre, but we're on board here with Tick Stewart now, right behind Rob Fountain. Oh, you wouldn't think there was room there, would you? Tick's getting all excited in the car. Mike Ives was the victim there as he was swatted back by Tick Stewart. And they're still hammer and tongs at it with Simon Durrell there in the mixed 96 car. Climb the hill. These Legends cars all using Yamaha 1200 engines, and they have a huge amount of power. They have about 250 brake horsepower per tonne. They only weigh 500 kilograms, incidentally, and use a 5-speed sequential gearbox. That's what powers them round. At the moment, John Mickle making every good use of that, but he's going to run out wide at paddock. Just 2 wheels on the grass there as he crosses underneath our position here, and side by side they're going to be. Gary Thomas is taking advantage of that. Thomas has got the inside line. Mickle will be forced wide, but recovers brilliantly, it has to be said. Well, here's Tick Stewart. He's screaming away in that car, enjoying every second of it, down the hill. Thomas, this time he's got to go through. Thomas at the bottom of Hairy Hill goes through, but he runs wide. Mickle will try and fight back. I think young Gary has protected his line admirably there. Bit of tyre smoke as he brakes. Swings it round the hairpin. Now, in the 56 car there is Gary's cousin, Chris Thomas. Chris, who had a spin in the earlier race, wasn't pleased with that, but at the moment he's tigering away there in 5th place. Good line through paddock. Keep an eye on whether he picks that position up for you in a moment. And Steve Thompson is thoroughly enjoying himself. He preferred to be up the front, I think. Well, Chris Thomas didn't find a way past John Mickle that time. Mickle protected his line, but Thomas there in the white and red car. John Mickle in the yellow team brass car and braking heavily through the left-hander. That's Rob Fountain. Rob and his brother formed Team Twin, and going very nicely too. Their first year for them in Legends. Not so for this man John Mickle there in the yellow car, and certainly not for Tick Stewart. Tick, who was the 1996 Legends champion, went off and tried a couple of other formula, did half a year, or the best part of a year last year, and really fighting now for the championship this year. So too is his teammate Steve Thompson, who needs to perhaps just be a bit tidier through there, but it's easier said than done. Well, making it look very, very easy at the moment is Peter Morton. I'm sure he was winding us up before, you know. He said, he showed us actually, there's a stud bar that holds the engine together. He was really worried that that was going to come loose. They thought they'd stripped the thread on the engine, as you may recall him saying earlier on, but at the moment that engine is holding together superbly. It sounds as sweet as a nut as he goes past us, but we're watching back through the field as they all swing on through. Been very impressed with Rob Fountain. He's certainly got to grips with the equipment very quickly indeed, and to be keeping pace with Tick Stewart like he is a real testimony to his driving ability. Oh, and Mickle's lost the place finally. All the pressure being applied there by Chris Thomas, and Mickle ran out wide, and Chris Thomas really just wiped his feet on a welcome mat and walked on through. Ooh, heavy on the brakes, John. Well, that's how close they are, you see. Mickle there He'll take the wide line up the hill. Let's ride with him. Tuck him behind. You can't really get a drag in these. You have to just find your own line. Well, down the hill, on their final lap they are, just a couple of corners to go for Peter Morton, and he's on his way to a terrific victory for him. And well liked and respected in Legends, takes the checkered flag. Great performance by him. Oh, Gary Thomas is finishing on the grass. Well, I think he just held on to third place, but he was definitely all over the grass there. Tick Stewart will finish back down the order, but he won't be worried. He wanted the points, that was the more important thing as far as he was concerned. And Steve Thompson finishing, but there is the race winner, Peter Morton. Excellent drive by him, made it look very easy, but he had Simon Durrell battling away behind him in second place. And let's get confirmation of that race 2 result. There we are, Morton and Durrell first and second respectively. Gary Thomas on the grass in third place. Chris Thomas, his cousin, picks up 4th. Mickle back to 5th, and Tick Stewart, the champion, in 6th.
Were you finishing on the grass there, Mr. Thomas?
I certainly was, Paul. Yes, I was trying all the track and a little bit more. Chaps gone out front and got a respectable speed going. I was catching them, but once again, another couple of laps and it would have been a good race. A bit unfortunate I didn't get through, but I've had 2/3 now from the middle of the pack, so it's looking good for the final.
Got a good start, got away, it was really nice, but I made one crucial mistake at the very beginning, coming into left-hander and braked the fraction too early. Saw Peter on my inside and you know, gave him some room, and away we went. Now we've got the car going nicely. We made a couple of adjustments since the first race and got a couple more to do, but definitely nice to be up there again.
So are you hiding your lighter under a bushel? What's all this about an engine's going to blow up?
Yes, it's true. We do have a problem under there where one of the head studs is working when it's way loose, but I put that to the back of my mind and let's just get on and forget it. If it goes bang, it goes bang. Right at the beginning with the delayed start, I said to Simon, I says, look out for me, I'm coming around the outside. But unfortunately, he braked late going into the left-hander and I took advantage. I just braked a little bit later, up the inside of him, and we were away. Simon's a great lad to race with, you know. He can really put the pressure on. But I think round here today, I've just got that little bit of an edge on him. But I could see him there all the time, and Gary Thomas was coming pretty quick. The setup that we've got now really suits me. It seems to suit most of the tracks, and I think results are coming now. It's time to show.
So a great result then for Peter Morton, and that will help him in his championship standings. That's all for us for this week. Join us again at Lydden Hill, where we'll have the 3rd and final race for you, and that's your...